live. I had faith you'd show up.
Hi, Les.
Howdy. We're not yet live. I figure I'll wait a couple more folks to join. I think Alexander will join as well.
Okay, great.
And I'm expecting at least 3 or 4 people in the room.
Oh, nice.
But so far, there's me. Okay, I'm going to close the door.
Okay.
Let's see. How are things going?
Going good.
Yes?
Yeah.
The download's going well?
Yeah, it's still kind of trickling in, but the feedback from users are still overwhelmingly positive. So we're going to keep on going with the app, and we've got a bunch of features we'll be adding soon. So it looks promising.
Are you getting any sales?
Yes, some. It's trickling in, but it's nothing that really pays the bills yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a couple of things to try and encourage more of that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, we wanted to get a sense of just whether there's an interest in this kind of app, and it looks like definitely there is. So there's some tweaking we need to do to make it a little bit more polished, and some features users want. So I think we'll make all of those paid features moving forward.
Okay. It's possible this is getting recorded, by the way,
Oh,
even
no
though I
problem.
haven't yet but I haven't posted any of them at all. So
Okay.
And I haven't hit the broadcast yet, though I might in a minute or two. You had asked me specifically about the what was the digits. That's why I sent you that it's the hardware MAC address.
Yes, so yeah, I kind of looked at that, although even though that is there in the numbers I'm getting like letters like G and things are beyond the X range, so it's something else. And there's also a prefix. It's like, it looks like the hardware, each hardware's got like an identifier, some kind of letters that tells you it's that kind of hardware. So it's more than that.
And I just turned on live.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's useful, and I wanted to use it in a particular way in terms of as you suggested, in terms of making it easier to pair the device. But I think we're looking at some other options now, and I think it's very likely we're even going to allow the user to name the device rather than exposing that ugly number.
Yeah.
So that they can just say, there's my living room and there's my bedroom, Google TV, and then they don't have to worry about all these funny letters. I think that's a better way to go.
We should have some sort of additional interface into the whole DNS, what puts the name out.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But perhaps the next time we see folks. Okay, so we might as well get started.
Okay.
If anybody had actually shown up in the room, which I'm still expecting 2 people, to join my physical room, I would have opened with a joke, so what's going on? Anything new this week? Let's see, I've already started with Leon, but why don't I start with Rick, who joined second, and then we'll just sort of go around. Rick has got a interesting icon, so also, if you've joined and for some reason your audio is not working, feel free to just type your question in to the chat stream. And as I've mentioned a few times, this is on air, which means it's all broadcast to as many people can watch the stream that wants to. It's running on YouTube. Okay, so as I said, Rick, do you want to give us your question? Not yet. Okay. And I'll go to Wayne. Has a lovely picture, but it's static. Ah, your mic is not working. Okay, that's cool. Leon has found the reindeer button. Okay, so, do you want me to go about the overlay before your colleague joins, or should I wait till then? Ah, okay, cool. So, part of the reason I wanted you guys to join this is so that we could have an interactive talk, but that's all right. The way you can overlay is you can launch your app, and your app then can send intents to the live TV using the channel changing intent. You then after about a half a second or so, you want to send an intent to your own app to bring it front. And you want the activity that comes to front to be have transparent background. So where you want your app to be is the only thing that you use. Everything else is transparent, and so the TV is right behind you. So there are some drawbacks to this. The media controls do not work. So you're going to have to figure out some way to send channel up, channel down events or anything else that's critical. So it's basically you have to test a little more extensively with your app. So that gives you what you need. Oh, okay, yes. All right. I'm going to go to the next person who appears to be Leon. So I'm going to go with, let's go with your first question, Leon.
So let's talk about some of the things that happened this week about the Marvell hardware. So obviously there's a bunch of ARM devices expected to be coming out this year. So I'm just trying to understand as a developer how we can start planning for that, or how we can get access to ARM hardware, or even the Marvell prototype that they showed at CES, if there's a way for us to get early access to that through the hardware and potentially any kind of software that we would need for that.
We do not have a plan for that yet. I haven't gotten it myself. Okay. And my guess is I'll get one before you do. But that could be wrong. But at the moment, yeah, I don't have one yet. And my guess is, I believe they announced a date at CES when it came out.
Not clear for that Marvell unit, because my understanding that's a prototype. That's not necessarily the ones the OEMs will be releasing.
Okay.
But I would say even if I got my hands on the prototype, I think that would still be useful just to make sure, you know, in terms of the experience and the performance and things like that, whether I can get a sense of what it would be like.
Yeah, it runs, what can I say? You know, I'm going to wait till I see some talking points before I address anything about the Marvell box.
Okay.
But we are going to do, it will be very close to there'll be an update quite shortly. And the software that's going to be on Marvell will be very similar to what that update is.
Okay.
And yeah, that's probably the best hint I can give you.
Okay.
Okay, Alexander has asked about the emulator. I'm sure we'll be releasing an ARM version of the emulator. I expect it to clearly work everywhere that a Honeycomb emulator works, with probably the same performance. Let's see. And how about Alexei? Do you have a question?
Yeah. Hi everyone. I have a question regarding NDK. When it will be released?
That's a common question.
Yeah.
I wish I could give you an answer. My guess is that we'll see the NDK probably in the second half of the year. So I'd love to say sooner, but what are you trying to do that you need the NDK for?
Well, actually, I'm trying to write the codecs for audio.
We are using which codecs are you trying to write?
Well, that's special codecs. So there's no built-in codecs in Google TV. So I have to write my own.
For the protocol that you're interested in?
Yeah, okay. And regarding just-in-time compiler, do you have any time when it will be released for Intel platform at least?
Very shortly, is my understanding. This month.
So Les, in terms of the NDK, is the expectation that when it comes out, this will be a solution that will work across the different platforms, both Intel and ARM?
It will work probably on ARM and not Intel.
Oh.
Would be my guess.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But the code which we are currently compiled for ARM platform, will it be compatible with this upcoming Google TV new platform, which is based on ARM processors?
Okay. As I said, the NDK will be available probably the second half of the year. Yeah,
I understood. But the question is, the current code which we have compiled for ARM platform, is it compatible with ARM devices?
Well, there are multiple ARM CPUs out, and so even for phones, you very often need to put out multiple binaries, different ARM packages. They go in the particular hardware directory in your package. That makes sense. So very often you have to compile multiple times and test on multiple boxes. My guess is we will have the same issues with our boxes.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Mr. Leahy, what's your question?
Hello there, do you hear me?
Oh, yes.
My question is how this picture-in-picture thing is working, because I was testing my app on the Google TV, and there's a button like picture-in-picture, and when I press this, it says this application does not allow it, and I don't find any documentation about this on the internet, you know?
Unfortunately, right now, picture-in-picture only works for television. and we're looking at ways to make it work for other things, but for the foreseeable future, it's only for TV. You
Sweet, thanks for this
can
information.
you can have your app have a TV window in it, but it's still controlled by the user, not controlled by the app.
Are you sure? Because I was pressing this button and it normally brings up the TV, as I heard, because I don't own this, I just was a place where the Google TV was available. It was a Sony with Android Honeycomb 3.2, and it was just that this error message is like, I wanted to get rid of the error message.
Oh,
And I've seen no way to do that.
To get rid of the error message, the only thing I can suggest is try capturing the picture-in-picture key at some point and prevent it from being forwarded.
Ah, that's the idea. I can test that next time. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Let's see, Wayne is on. Do you have a question? Already asked. Okay, cool. All right, Rick. Okay, Rick doesn't seem to have a question.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. You mentioned that the picture-in-picture might be used for other things. Can you describe what you guys are talking about? Are you guys talking about maybe an app within an app?
At the moment, you can't do that. At some point, we're thinking that it might be a activity that can show up, but we have, that's going to be a future idea, and clearly won't happen in the short term.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's see. Let's go with Leon again.
So there were a bunch of demos at CES with physical remotes that use voice control. And several of them claim to be working with Google TV. So I'm just kind of curious, what are they doing there? Is there something proprietary on the remote that gets over to Google TV, or are they using any remote in any way?
I think they may be using a proprietary protocol, because the manufacturers have access to drivers on both sides.
Okay.
So they're able to send whatever they feel like from their remote.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm just trying to understand just the flow. So you record the message, maybe they send the audio to the TV. Do you know if they're then doing something themselves or going to Google Voice Recognition? Or
I haven't played with the boxes, so I can't really tell you. I don't know.
Okay. So it's probably very proprietary then.
Yeah. Sean? No. Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
It's probably proprietary, but you can contact the various TV manufacturers. I'm sure that they're, setting up programs.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was some kind of API that hasn't been published yet for, other kind of devices, not necessarily smartphones, but other devices that could do voice.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Let's see, we have Alexander writing, Sony, I guess, said it would be shipping Google TV around the world soon, but current Google TV version has not internationalization support at all. I can't even set non-US time zone. What about different languages, or at least non-English input? Coming shortly. That update I mentioned, that should have that.
Sorry, Les, does that also cover the Animote? Because I think Animote still doesn't support Unicode, at least. I might be wrong.
Yeah, Animote's probably still got issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, I think that I'll try to get Vincent to join us one day. I think he'd be a good person to
Ask all these great questions.
ask
Yeah.
questions and futures and specifically non-English because he speaks French. Okay. Who wants to go next? Alexander has written again. So when will we have the nearest update for Sony Logitech? You know, there was a movie called The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Sixth Dimension. There was a scene in it where they asked the leader, who they've been waiting 49 years, when are we going to Planet 7? And the answer was soon. And they, being smart, knew not to accept that answer and said, how soon? And the leader, being equally smart, said, real soon. I hope that tells you what my answer is. Okay, next question.
I have a question regarding hardware acceleration for
Sure.
Android applications. The Intel, at least for the current implementation, does not have this hardware accelerated.
That'll be in that update that I talked about.
Yeah, so, but can we expect it will be implemented in some near future?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Probably this month.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Okay. I think I had 20 people I invited to the group.
Les, there's a bunch of questions in your post on the comments.
Oh, okay.
People who haven't
we'll do
joined.
that. Also, let me invite everybody because it just dawned on me. I forgot to. We've been going for 21 minutes and I haven't yet invited my extended circles. It'd be nice if I could invite the public, but okay. Let me take a quick peek at, or get this back up on air. I have written feedback a couple times on this tool. All right, I have tons of questions, so we'll go through there. First, let's see. Okay, Clifton. Well, I'll start from the top, actually. Can I watch live from Google to me? I think that's a true statement. And Bobia Bobby is wondering where we are. That's why I haven't seen her. Would you ping her and tell her where we are? We're in the usual place. She thinks we're. I guess the calendar changed.
Didn't change. I mean.
Oh, it's for next week that it's.
Oh, it's this
downstairs.
different room.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
I didn't see her there at the office.
Yes, she's probably down in tomorrow's room, or next week's room. Okay, Alexander has asked about the emulator. Would it be possible the reference boxes, and I don't know the answer for that. NDK. New says Sony will ship to other countries. We answered that. And will I add more languages? Yes. We've asked about picture-in-picture. Okay, so Mike is asking about the future of advertising on Google TV. Would we be able to view advertising as a content stream? Subscribing to the advertising channels of companies, causes, politicians, organizations in which we have interest, and then seeing these advertisements promoted in our regular viewing ads. I can't comment about what we as a company are doing. A lot of people are, there's a lot of different advertising ideas happening around. Mostly it's how to get monetization for developers. So different developers are going to use different advertising services, hopefully Google, obviously, but hi there. Not limited to Google. And I think that each one is going to be different. I actually am tasked to do a survey of advertising for Google TV and get it all working if it's not. And I'll be producing a report by the end of the quarter. So by the end of March, I'll know a lot more about monetization and advertising than I do right now. Sean, do you have any comments or?
I mean, we have some third party working sort of on that front. I think it'll go into your, I guess, summary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Michael also asks, he's from Ireland and has a Windows Media Center as our TV source, with remote control happily being used by all householders and visitors alike. As a quad DVB-S, DVB-T card in the hidden PC providing my live TV. Is there a place on the roadmap for a Google TV device that can accept USB tuner or two? I think most of what we're interested in is HDMI as the TV source and providing HDMI out. I haven't heard of anybody who is considering another kind of device, but they could certainly do that. Tony is asking
you, Les, what is for the HDMI, there's different versions for the HDMI spec. Is there like a minimum that is required for Google TV, or is it up to the OEMs?
It's basically up to the OEMs. I am not aware of the minimum. I know that we have to support DCP or hardware device copy protection.
Okay.
HDCP, yeah, I think it is. And so we definitely do that. Beyond that, I think there is some requirements for the OEMs, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm still trying to find the person so that we can publish our requirements.
Okay. Just as there's all kinds of interesting stuff coming out with the new HDMI specs, the newer numbers, that could make it actually very interesting for attaching new kinds of devices, not just HDMI sources, but other kind of things. I was just curious in terms of just kind of where that is for Google TV.
I think we'll support whatever the manufacturer, wherever things go.
Okay.
Because I think what we're seeing a range of devices for Google TV, from the absolute low end to the very high end. And it looked like some of the manufacturers were including us on their 4K TVs.
Oh.
And so, again, I'm not aware. I only read what I see on the feeds from Engadget and others. So, but it certainly looked like we were included on some of the really high-end boxes, and so.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll go back. Wayne is asked again. Will there be a market update soon? Getting discovered on Google TV Market is not very easy, and is not showing installed when an app is already installed. Yes. There are several activities towards fixing that.
So is there for any particular app or for all the apps?
For all apps. Well, it does recognize some of them if it knows your device. But the market's got some issues that are getting fixed, and then it has a lot of love getting to it over the next while.
Will
will that market update roll as a new firmware upgrade, or can the market update by itself?
I'm not sure if it can. It certainly will occur with the firmware update, but I don't know if it can be updated separately. But most of our apps can be, so I would expect it can be.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to keep reading questions unless anybody wants to ask a live question.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Okay, let's go to Alexander, and then we'll go to whoever else was there.
That was Rick.
Cheers. My question is with the Lenovo TV that they were demoing. That was running a version of Android on, I think it was Ice Cream Sandwich that put together their own interface for it. I saw a lot of people calling that Google TV, but if it's not based off of the Google TV branch, I guess it doesn't classify as Google TV?
It doesn't classify from our perspective.
Do you think we're going to see a lot of manufacturers doing that, or do you think they're going to be part of the Google TV program? Whatever.
You know, I don't have insight into that. My guess is we provide some very useful resources for users, but some of them will become available if they license raw Android, or if they get to the point where they can use Google Apps. Some of our apps are going to be available in those packages. You know, that you get Gmail and other licensed Google apps if you meet these criteria.
It's just a question of which APIs are going to get supported, and it'd be incredibly frustrating if some of them support half of them and others support,
My guess is you'll be seeing some divergence, but or some, I believe the word is differentiation, today's new word. But we will be working to bring them together.
Okay.
Okay.
So can I jump in on that? It wasn't clear from the reporting for that specific TV that they had official access to the Android market.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is that official access to Android market requires that they go through certain steps. If they have access to Android market, they will have access to some of our apps as well.
Okay.
Not all, but they'll get the access to some of our apps. And as long as they're for countries that we localize for, that'll give benefits. I think TV and Movies app is one of the ones that gets licensed. Again, I'm not an expert in all this. I just get into the meetings periodically.
Okay.
If you're referring to that Lenovo, right? That's the new ICS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, based on my experience with a lot of Chinese companies and manufacturers, I don't think it's from the developer's perspective. I would say it's too much to hope that you guys will get your apps ready for, say, for us, and then automatically work over there. It's very unlikely. Not only from the perspective that APIs may not work, and also the companies in China, they may not want everybody to jump on their platform anyway. They typically want to work with big players themselves. Like in that case, Lenovo, they're working with one of the big media companies in China, Best TV, and actually we're going to talk to them next week.
Okay. I'm not sure you want to announce that publicly.
Well, that's, yeah.
Just as a thought. Okay. Next live question.
Rick here again. Regarding some of the new televisions over at CES, I've noticed either via Connect or their own proprietary technology, they're starting to support motion gestures for navigation and whatnot. Have you guys explored the thought of including those inputs into Google TV?
We've explored a lot of things, and at the time that we are ready to announce what we choose to use, we'll let you know. And I apologize, I only have so many ways to say no, or I can't tell you the answer to that.
But for sure, I think there are a lot of great ideas. People are playing with great innovations.
We are playing with a lot of interesting ideas. Okay, next. Okay, I'll read another one. Oh, actually, Mr. Levy, hi, can you tell me what the key code for pip is? I don't know. Can you look it up in the, there's an internal doc for compatibility and what the remote codes are. And we'll see if we can find that for you. I'm going to move on while they're looking it up. So Tony asked, how do you hang out on a Google TV? Well, unfortunately, we don't support that yet. Philip, okay, is also asking that. There's no camera API yet. There's a research team that really wants to make this happen, and I can just tell you that we're trying to figure out how to do it from the best way to do it from Google TV now. But that's not a product announcement. Yes, I am clueless about time zones. I've added them to the announcement. I hope everyone's happy. Let's see, Tony, I know you can't do a Hangout on Google TV. Okay, well, anyway. Wayne asked about overlay methods, and asked about Rick. Let's see. Apparently it's not that confidential if you know about it, Alexander. Yeah, that's one of the things that will be updated soon. I'll read the question though. Plex guys said they have a special beta firmware with working HLS. I suppose it's highly confidential with a smiley. So that I was responding to the smiley. John Phillip asks, will there be the possibility to upgrade common smart TVs with Google TV, like Samsung smart TVs? I just heard rumors about an HDMI stick for Google TV. Any comments about that rumor? None whatsoever. A lot of HDMI sticks were announced at CES. That is a very interesting idea. And Alexander has pointed John Phillip at FXI Labs. Alexander G has asked, yes, they are running ICS not based on Google TV. He's asked about the Lenovo. James asks, is there a list of make models of TV? Anytime anyone wants to ask a live question, do feel free to ask, because I'll just run through these, and it's real boring. Okay, James asks, is there a list of make models of TVs that will be running Google TVs or ICS like Lenovo? Which TVs will include Android Market? For example, the Vizio sets include Via Plus, which is based on Google TV. Will it include Android Market? My guess is that it will, since Vizio is definitely one of our licensees. And they announced that early this week. Brandon, my question is regarding implementing fake touch and navigation keys within RenderScript. I know that you need to send the keystrokes to the RenderScript for processing, but my question is more with focus. How can I control whether pushing left or right an action in RenderScript, such as selecting different objects, or whether to change focus to a separate view altogether? I have a basic file browser, Open Explorer, which implements a variation of the carousel RenderScript outlined by the Google some time ago. It works great when you touch it or use the painful Logitech trackpad, but arrows have no controller whatsoever. You probably need to forward them. They're probably going somewhere else than the touch, and you need to pass them on to your RenderScript. No, Mr. Leahy, they are still looking because I can see them both staring at their screens.
I haven't found which documentation.
The one with the remote codes. Wayne is suggesting keycode _window for Mr. Levy. That sounds close. You might. Can I actually do a mute for here for a sec? I'm going to go off mic for a moment. Okay. When in doubt. Okay. That's why I turn away as well, so that you can't read the lips. Or at least I try to go away. All right. Fake touch and navigation key. Okay, we addressed that. Yeah. We apologize. The UI folks who said yes thought it was for last week, not for this week. So Gert is asking about Google TV in Denmark and Scandinavia. I honestly don't know anything about I don't know anything about it. By the way, we're still looking stuff up. I went off mic so that I could give some direction on some things I can't talk about publicly. And hopefully they're looking for what we're talking about. It's going to go international this year. That I can tell you. And quite a few OEMs announced that as well. Okay, Alexi asks, well, will ARM native code be compatible with the ARM-based? It should be, but again, we're not necessarily going to have NDK support for the first ones. When NDK for Google TV shipped, hopefully by the second half of the year, ideally sooner. We're doing a range of, the question is about ARM-based devices. We're doing a range of products. So there will be some very low-cost devices that don't have great performance. And then there will be some very high-powered devices that have performance orders of magnitude higher than what we have on the Intel devices, the existing Sony and Logitech devices. And I'm sure reviewers will tell you which one is which. We will turn on hardware acceleration, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, that's how to do it. Android : hardware accelerated equals true. JIT compiler should be with us in the next release. At least I was told, and I haven't been told it's not.
If keycode window seems like it's for picture-in-picture mode.
Okay, so Bobby has just confirmed for Mr. Levy that keycode_window is the picture-in-picture one.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And the constant is 104, it seems.
Decimal or hex?
No, it's just constant, 104.
So it's a 104.
Yeah.
So it's decimal.
Yeah.
Les, can I just jump in on that one? In terms of the code, you mentioned with the update, and I know in previous Hangouts, other folks mentioned that there were some new key codes that were being planned to be supported for like game controllers. So do you have any information of whether those are going to make it into this next update or not?
I don't know. But one thing I've noticed is that, do you have knowledge of the red, blue, green, yellow keys?
Yes. So I know there are keys for those, the generic ones, but my understanding that there would be more than that for like some of the others that are like on gamepads.
Okay. I do not know about that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But Justin probably talked about that, or Pi, and I'm going to try and get both of them in a room together.
Okay.
And have that. I'm also trying to get the UX folks, and I'm also trying to get someone from the App Engine team to join us. And so I just haven't scheduled any of those yet. But that's what's coming.
Thanks.
And I'll also try to get Vincent, because I think it would be great to have him on our group for a day. Okay, now I've locked up my machine, which I have to do at least once every one of these. Okay, according to Marvell, Armada 1500 chip spec, it supports 2 simultaneous 1080 streams. Actually, you'll find that that's a minimum requirement for Google TV. So, is it suitable for showing 3D? There will be Google TV on a lot of 3D TVs. And there are different techniques for doing 3D. And I can't talk at all about what's happening in the Android UI, and nor do I know anything specific for 3D support. Okay. Michael is working on an iOS app to interface with Google TV using AnyMote pairing protocol. I've been able to get through most of the pairing steps. However, Google TV says I have a bad secret when I send the secret. When looking at the pairing session.java class, it appears that maybe I shouldn't be sending the encoded value. It looks like there is some logic going on with gamma, alpha, and nonce. Can you confirm? Can I send the hexadecimal encoding to Google TV? Or must there be some additional logic performed on this encoding so Google TV will accept my secret and I can get my app paired with Google TV? And he points us to the Stack Overflow question, which I did see today. Anyone want to answer that? Apparently not.
So I mean, I can jump in there a little bit. I mean, there is obviously a nonce involved, but there's also very complicated back and forth messaging going on. And really, I mean, from how I use it in my app is really to go and look at the Google TV remote app source code. There's a lot of that can simply be reused without having to go and start from scratch. And I would definitely recommend doing it that way rather than, I think he's trying to go from the spec and work his way all the way up through all the layers of the messaging and the security and the nonce, and there's a whole bunch of other things you need to worry about. But I would, it would be better start with the remote code that's working and then tweak it from there. So I added a comment to the Stack Overflow post, so hopefully you'll see that.
Cool. Thank you, Leon. We'll get you into developer relations. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Using Eclipse on Windows 7, the x64 Android SDK won't update Google TV SDK. It's not compatible. Yes, Clifton, that's true. The only thing that's in there is the emulator, and the emulator doesn't run. Doesn't really run well on a Windows box. Obviously, that will get fixed when the ARM chips are available and the ARM emulator. I can't tell you when that's going to be. Okay. Okay. And Leon, did we get all your questions?
Yeah, except one. I've been getting requests for people to support the skipping buttons that are available on a lot of DVRs for like skipping advertisements, like 30 seconds at a time. As far as I can tell, there is no, at least not on the Google TV protocol side, a key code for that. I might be wrong if I missed it, but I can't find it. But just generally in terms of, well, firstly, are you thinking about supporting that? And secondly, if there are other codes, what is the process of getting that into the pipeline?
I don't know any way to, what you really want is a code that will be passed through to the IR blaster.
Exactly.
And I don't know of any way to do that. I'll see if I can find whoever. I thought when I grabbed Pi that he was Mr. Anymote, but he claims no knowledge anymore. So I need to find who's going to be in charge of Anymote and get them on. Or when Pi and Justin are in the room, it'll be interesting. Okay. Bring that question up, and I apologize for not having an answer, but okay. Let's see. And as I mentioned earlier, publishing the Hangout videos, I've been lazy at watching them. I keep talking about stuff that I have talked about publicly, but I really don't want to reinforce. Okay. Alexander, that one we can do, except that I have no product management here today. So I'll see what I can do about publishing the iOS Google TV remote outside the App Store. for the time being, you might want to get an Android phone and get Leon's app, Able Remote. I should put it back on me rather than Leon. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. It will require talking to product management. Okay, Dustin asks, when using Chrome to view HTML5 content, we need to disable Google TV Popcorn Saver, which I think is only in the M4s, right?
So I don't know about Logitech.
Oh, maybe it's in Logitech. Okay.
It's OEM specific.
I don't know. How do we turn off the screensaver? Can you just do the power controls?
It depends on the OEM, right? The screensaver, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the OEM for what it looks like. But it's our screensaver, so it's just our box moving a picture around. I wonder if it responds to the power control, so that it'd be like a phone.
I'm not sure.
My guess, Dustin, is that you should try the power APIs and see if that wait clock is what I'm trying to say. Yes, it should be enough. Okay, Dustin also asks, we have a download task when we update a custom XML notification which includes a progress bar. Naturally, we would like to update every 1%. The problem is we are having difficulty each time we update notification. Google TV shows what appears to be a toast message in addition to the notification bar. How do we suppress new toasts? Hi there. You're the expert.
So he wants to hide the notification?
Yeah, what he wants is the notification in the progress to be updated every 1%.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't want to toast every time he...
So you can pass null value to the toast notifications. That way he can hide the notification.
Okay, say it again.
So he has to just pass null value?
Null value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And Cliff Clinton asks, Yahoo Connected TV made the same mistake trying to shove Linux up every... Okay. I started... That is not a question. Sorry. And you didn't join us. All right, we're out of time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'll give one last second if somebody has a question. Otherwise, we're going to do go and go and gone. I know I have lots of people who have posted to my stream. Let's see if we have anything that is actually... Okay. I'm just trying to see if there's any content. Lots of people who started following me. A Sean question. Or when will embed HTML5 or Flash work on Google TV?
When will what?
When will we be able to embed HTML5 or Flash like works on a Honeycomb phone? HTML5 video will work in the next release.
Next release?
Yeah. Flash probably won't. Yeah, Flash is... And Bradley Gogatz has asked about HLS coming soon, probably this month, for at least one of the OEMs. All right, thank you all.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.